Hey everybody, welcome back to Sergeant's Talk TV. I'm Big Mike.
And I'm Jason.
That's right. He is Jason. In
I
in
didn't have a.
cold-ridden Tennessee.
I might as well be in Michigan again, y'all. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Luckily, no snow, but still hanging out here, and we've got the horrible low temperatures that we just shouldn't have. It's Tennessee. It's supposed to be warm and sunny, right? No, wait,
Yeah.
that was Florida. All
Well,
right.
yeah.
Well, I guess.
So here in Oklahoma, it's been like 27 degrees and stuff like that in the mornings. I think today Terry said it got up to 54 or something like that. But then around 4:30, it just starts dropping. So, and then the thing here says, well, it's 44 degrees and clear here. It says, but temperatures will pummel. I guess that's it's a weather word for drop real quick sometime tonight. So,
Well, yeah, actually, you mentioned that, and I started looking, and yeah, the bottom corner, I forget that's in on this computer
yeah.
screen. It's 29 right now.
Woo!
And we're going to be getting down to 22.
Wow.
But the old Squatch here and all of the insulation, we've had to kind of, I don't know if you can see, we shoved some towels under the fridge because that's not an RV fridge. So it's not sealed off the way it's supposed to. And we were getting some pretty cold draft in there, and we shoved them in there, and just away it went, working perfect. So,
good.
Yeah. No freeze ups, no nothing like that. Like it's been keeping us warm.
Yeah. So, guys, we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to talk about and covering what benefits are available for veterans receiving a 10 to up to 40% VA compensation disability. So we're going to cover all that because each one of the percentages plays on each other. And then we'll walk through all that stuff so everybody gets the what's going on with that. And also the numbers we'll be shooting you are the new VA rates for 2025. Okay. They went up. So yeah, get ready for that. But first, before we do that, let's say hello to some people in the chat. I seen Lila Newton was in here. Hey, Cookie, how you doing?
And Robin over at Good Enough, she'll be jumping in and watching us tomorrow. So see you tomorrow, but it's now for you time. Hi, Robin.
Hey, there's Miss Linda Peterson. How you doing, Linda?
See Mr. Ricky over at Veterans Landing made it in.
Yeah. There's Bobby over at Petit Jean River Homestead.
And there's Dana. Looks like she's got Tim, Stella, Renly all lurking. Hi, BFF. That Stella's so dang cute.
And there's Judy Herman. Hello, Judy.
And there's Rebecca, Touched by Yarn.
Yes, it is. There's Ralph at Webb's Web, U.S. Air Force. There's the Sergeant Major.
Rock. Oh, Sergeant Major made it in.
Yeah.
She's got to keep us in line.
That's
especially
right.
when Big Mike starts going cross-eyed a little bit. She might have to kind of.
Yeah. Big Mike's on some Oxycontin. And it feels like I'm sitting on an apple on my left butt cheek.
It didn't give you that cotton effect, did it?
No. It's like sitting on a rock.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, there's Neil S. How you doing, Neil? Cookie saying, knock on wood, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look. It's all working good, though. Oops, there's trouble right there. I don't know if this is going to work for me, y'all. All right, there it is. Rainy Ridge, Eric Cantina over there. And the jar.
We're doing a little deer hunting and driving home from Christmas parade with the babies All right.
This time of night doing deer hunting. That sounds expensive.
Yeah. There's Glenn and Shannon's Salty Life. Around her head, she wore a yellow ribbon. She wore it in the springtime, merry month of May. And if you asked her why the hell she wore it, but he don't say that, but that's what we used to say. She
Right.
wore it for that soldier who was far, far away, far away, far away. She wore it for the soldier who was far, far away. There you go. That's my rendition of that. I like when he does that.
Good work.
And
Yeah,
the
it's
other
always
day I
good to
was
see the
bored,
two.
so I watched Full Metal Jacket, just the first 10 minutes. It's my favorite part of the movie. And the first and last thing out of your 50 sewer will be, sir, do you understand? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still amazing the amount of people. I mean, there was some reality to that movie,
Yeah.
but that's what they fully would expect when they came in, and they're like, "That's why you guys are crazy." And we're like, "There's some Hollywood in there."
I will tell you that the haircut part is 100% true.
Oh, that's absolutely you.
Yeah. Because I sat there and I was waiting in line, and I mean, guys would come in with afros and long hair, and for some reason, they just love going down the middle first, so you look like a dork hanging off the side.
Well, you figure if they're just standing there for hours,
Yeah.
you know, letting all these recruits run through, they've got to be able to come up with some sort of entertainment for themselves. So hey, why not like everybody have that moment of looking like Bozo?
Oh, wow. You don't have an MRI until February? Holy crap, Neil.
Yeah, that seems a little bit of a
Yep.
stretch.
This is my grumpy old vet shirt I got. I think, where did we get that, babe? We got it at Buc-ee's. Yeah.
Mm.
Got it at Buc-ee's. It
Let's see,
kind
we
of
got Mike.
fits me right now because Terry will tell you, man, she knows when the pain pill wears off.
Nice. I see Mike at Vision Acres Homestead.
There
Maybe
he is. There he is. Shiloh Acres, hello, hello.
Oh, I bet they're buried in snow. Although they might not be. Where they like it? There's only been a few people I've talked to in Michigan said they really got buried so far.
For this, okay. What'd she say? Dana say? Especially if you hit a deer in a rental truck. I can't afford this 2,500 Ram Rebel. All right. Hey, Big Wave, Florida. They're there.
Yeah, Big Wave. You know that I had done the same thing. Well, I kept my hair pretty much cut at a Marine Corps high and tight, even though I didn't know what it was. It's just that happened to be I'd seen it because my hair does the big afro. Well, at least back then when it would grow, and I, wearing a football helmet, and I was in wrestling, like sports, all that stuff. So I had cut my hair short to begin with. The only thing that I really made sure was because I always had a mustache and goatee. I went full like baby face before I left, just because I was like, they're probably gonna give, and they did. You got the cheapest razors you possibly could to have to shave with.
Yeah. I remember when I was getting ready to go in, they had told me, I think it was Dean Nelson's dad had told me that he goes, man, they're going to sit you in the chair and they're going to buzz you down the middle. And he goes, and when I was there were people taking pictures for your yearbook when you graduate and stuff. And he goes, and you look really dumb. and they get you in so his wife, Miss Nelson, she goes, well, I'll shave your head. Now in high school, my hair looked like Kelso on that 70s show. You know what I mean? It was all butterflied. It's hard to believe, but I was man pretty in high school. So she's the one that buzzed my head, and then I left for the Army. And of course, he goes, what are you trying to do? Get a jump start? And I had to stand there and point to the chairs when they came available while everybody went back outside and was sitting on the bench and waiting and stuff like that, or whatever they were doing. But I had to stand there and direct people to the chairs and stuff. Then it was all over. And Drill Sergeant Martin says, he goes, park it in that chair. And I mean, I had like bristles and stuff like that, by then. And they said, buzz it. And they took the guard off, and I was like this when I came out of there. Sunburn, because I had basic training August 16th. And it was hot in Alabama. And I got a sunburn. Yeah. And then the little hair prickles were coming through the sunburn. Man, that aggravated the crap out of me.
That never feels good. I've been lucky, like all the years that I've been shaving my head, that I don't seem to get sunburn on it now. But the first couple times that I had done it, oh, that was horrible.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, they do sell Grinch shirts and Buc-ee's. It's not a big selection like last time. I don't know why, but they only had 3 different shirts this time. Last time we went through there down in Melissa, Texas, they probably had 10, 15 different shirts, but now they only had 3. Hey, Poppy Smurf.
Hey, Poppy. Oh, Shiloh says, yeah, they just got a dusting.
Yeah.
They're east of Flint yet. Okay. Yeah, it seemed like some parts of it got really hit and then the others, but nothing like New York and them did. Oh, my gosh.
From Cape Cod, Charlene Grady.
Hello, Miss Charlene.
Welcome in. August 16, 1776 is when I went in. No, that. I'm older than dirt. I should be 1 foot in the grave. All right. So, hey, we said hello to everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. We got 30 people in here. I don't even know how many thumbs up we got, but that's okay. Please hit that thumbs up before you leave out of here. But hey, guys, let's get started. Hey, today, like I said, we're going to talk about 10% to 40% VA disability compensation. Now, at the top of the list, I mean, what's that should be at the top of everybody's list is the monetary compensation. So let's start with veterans rated at 10% disability and what they can expect. Okay?
Yeah. So a veteran with a 10% VA rated disability can expect more than $175 a month, tax-free. I'll say it again, tax-free. You're not taxed on this money.
So if you're saying, well, there's no reason for me to go and apply for VA healthcare or get an evaluation done for a compensation, $175 is $175. Now, you may have an F-350, and that's a tank full of diesel, okay? Right. But that's a tank full of diesel that's tax-free from the government, okay? However you want to look at it. So it's worth just doing that. And that's just at 10%, and I don't know how many people that were served in the military that don't have some sort of tinnitus or something like that, or they had they had a dislocation of the shoulder or problems with their knee, and they had to go to sick call for their knee or their hip or their back or something like that. That'll get you 10%, okay, and get you on the books. So there you go.
Yeah. Next is the healthcare and prescriptions. A veteran rated at 10% disability is eligible for VA healthcare, but you're not automatically enrolled. You must apply. That being said, once enrolled, all healthcare related to your service connection is free, and you may have a small copay for other services.
Yeah.
So yeah, like whatever you end up getting, like, and I know, like, you talk about the 10% deal. My brother's the prime example, where, you know, he went in not even thinking he rated it, because he spent like 18 months or less total in the Army before they medically separated him. But I don't know, it was probably 8-10 years later or something, he went to try to do a VA home loan, and he ended up getting 10% because they came in and they were able to connect. One of the tricks was, if you get two, it should be, I think, 2 or more conditions. Well, once they start to combine them, even if it's 2 conditions at 0 and 0, but the way the VA math works is 0 and 0 equals 10%. Like, they have to give you a minimum once you get like 2 to 3 different diagnoses that they're saying, hey, service connected.
Yeah.
But then you can see, you know, if you don't have other health care, say you're not old enough to go get on Medicare, Medicaid, or don't qualify or whatever, then you can still go get seen on your other non-service connected. You just may have a copay.
Yeah. Now, here's the key. Here's the kicker. And people got to understand this part of it. When you're at 10%, okay, you're registered in VA healthcare system. They've already started processing your rating and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Nowhere in my disability printout does it say I have diabetes, okay? Nowhere. However, because you're getting prescription, my doctor sends the prescription to the VA, and then the VA sends me my diabetes medicine every 90 days, it comes in the mail. And I don't have to pay for it. If I was paying for this over at CVS or the Walgreens or whatever, I couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? So it's not just what you're doing, it's your health care. So when they register you in health care, that's all part of it. The prescription part of it is all part of the health care. Okay? So if you go to, let's say I went to a TRICARE doctor, and they said, who's your pharmacist? I said, the VA. They send it to the VA, they mail it to me. You see what I'm saying? You can use those people as your prescription headquarters on anything and everything, okay? And you don't pay for it out of your pocket, all right? Now, we put a note here for clarification of your specific healthcare benefits package. We recommend you speak with the eligibility folks at your nearest VA facility or call 1-800-MY-VA-411, okay? And they will give you all the information on that whole healthcare portion of it. So another benefit is travel allowance when enrolled in the VA healthcare. The VA will reimburse for mileage and other travel expenses for scheduled medical appointments at the VA facility or at civilian medical facilities in which the VA refers you to. And that's what we call healthcare in the community. And you have to qualify for that. Once they qualify for you, every time they want to set up an appointment with a specialist or anything like that, you'd say, hey, I got care in the community, and then they will send you over to another division, and they will schedule with a doctor within your driving area, and you can go see that doctor anytime, and you don't pay no copay, or you don't pay anything. Okay. I think at 10, you pay a copay just at 10%, and it might be $20. Okay. Is your copay or whatever. So just be aware of that. And welcome back.
Technical difficulties, y'all.
Yeah.
Just like it was last time I was here in Tennessee. Apologize, but I'll jump back on every time it wants to be on me.
There you go.
All right, how far did we get?
Number 4.
Okay. So did you read that one already? Go
No.
over that. Okay. So as a veteran with 10% disability, other benefits you can take advantage are waivers for VA home loan funding, for the VA home loan certificate. And that actually is what triggered my brother to even be able to get on it.
Yeah.
And he got a 10%.
Well, the other thing, when it says funding fees, you don't have to put nothing down, period.
Right.
Okay. Once you get that home guarantee from the VA, you don't have to put anything down, and you can move into a house. That's how we moved into this house. We didn't pay nothing down. Okay.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
And that's the one thing I want to clarify, because I know a lot of times that's been misunderstood. Is they're like, hey, the VA home loan, it's not a loan. You're not getting your home loan and your mortgage through the VA. You're getting a certificate that basically, in the most simplest terms, because this is how it had to be explained to me, with my crayons and all this, was they're the cosigner. But by them being that cosigner for the 4-year home loan through the mortgage company, most, if not all, mortgage companies, or at least the ones that accept it, make that where it's a 0 down payment, and could possibly even get you a better interest rate.
Who's the one that handled our thing here?
Veterans United.
Yeah, we use Veteran United. Dude, that was the smoothest buy I ever did in my life.
Oh, really?
Insane. It was so easy with those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they were on it. They were in contact with us all the time. And all we did was we contacted them. They did everything. We went to the land title thing, signed a billion freaking times, as you know. And we were in. It was too easy. And then we got a 0.25% below the interest rate at the time. So I think we're at like 3.
We're just at 3.
Just at 3, or just under 3, something like that. It was crazy. It was so easy.
And with the VA loan, because it's basically a guarantee. So you get the VA certificate.
Right, that's what he said.
So you do not have to have mortgage insurance either. You don't pay for mortgage insurance.
Yeah, you don't need mortgage insurance. None
you
of
have
that.
to have homeowners insurance.
Yeah, homeowners you got to have, but not mortgage insurance. So a veteran rated at 10% can receive a 10-point preference when applying for federal job access to veteran readiness and employment programs, burial services, and plot. Let's see, and eligibility to DoD facilities such as commissaries, exchanges, morale, welfare, and recreation (MWR), either in person or online. Okay, if you're signed up for the program. So it's all. If you look at all that for 10%, it's worth your time to get off your dead butt and enroll. Call that number, okay? That 1-800-MY-VA 411, and get the ball rolling. Okay, guys?
Yeah. And that's, like you said, that's all at 10%. Like, that's all you need is the 10%, the most bottom tier. And I guess, like, so the next going up, because the VA rates in 10% increments. There's no 5s, there's no 1s or nothing. They just keep it. You go 10. The next one is a 20%. And at a 20% rated disability is the same as 10% when it comes to the benefits. The only change is the monetary payment. A veteran with a 20% rated disability can expect at least $346, if not more, tax-free.
Yeah,
Once again, big key right there. No taxes.
exactly. So you've doubled your from 10 to 20% just in the monetary thing. Everything else stays the same. You get all the benefits as the 10. All that goes up is that monetary part of your disability. So rating at 30%. Now, if you're rated at 30%, you receive 30% service-connected disability from the Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm only going to cover, we're going to only cover the veterans rated at 30% or higher. Okay. So on this part here, you get everything that was above there. Okay. And to include what we're going to talk about now.
Yeah. So one of those first benefits of being a 30 is the veteran's ability to receive extra compensation for their dependents. That's right. If you look at the VA's disability pay tables, you will notice that 10% and 20% disability is pretty straightforward. However, once a veteran reaches 30%, then they have the ability to add a qualified spouse, children, or even parents, which could increase the amount of tax-free compensation you receive each month. For many veterans, this is no small chunk of change either. It could be hundreds of dollars.
Exactly.
And yeah, so I mean, if you're in a position like I was when I first retired, being above that 30% was a pretty big deal because I had a lot of dependents. You know, between my wife and well, at the time there was 6 kids and my wife. That was a big significant change from being at a 20 up to the 30, but being able to add because you have your flat rate of what you were going to get. But then I got so much for my wife and then so much for each kid. And I did look into, not for my own thing, but knowing that like your kids will age out just like they do with everything else. Once they hit 18, now there are some exceptions, right? But you've got to be able to go through some more red tape and forms and stuff to be able to prove how much you're supporting that child. And that's how the parents, it says, hey, if your parents, well, if you're the primary caregiver and you're providing the sole income and there's a whole list of criteria, like you could actually get paid extra for taking care of your parents if they live with you.
Yeah, and Judy was asking that her daughter's taking care of their military son, and now her mobility is limited due to her accident. Would she be eligible to for disability from the VA since so I'm guessing she's a caregiver, okay? And that's something that she would have to work out with the section within the VA where she registered as a caregiver and it was approved through them. That's pretty specific since she never served, but she is a registered caregiver. So you'd have to check with them directly. Yeah, I'm not gonna stab that chicken in the neck because of that.
But that would be something to look into because, and I can't remember on Judy's. I don't think her daughter had served, but her daughter's son did, and he might be able to get extra benefit that helps if she's his primary caregiver, if his disabilities are over 30 or 30 or more.
No, Frank can apply at any time. We always use the example of Tim at Ridge Life. Tim at Ridge Life was out of the Navy for the longest time, and he watched one of the shows, and he just called that 1-800 number and got busy, and now he's got veterans health care now. So there's no time. If you served, and guess what? they already have a copy of his medical records. All that stuff has been scanned, and they have it all. So don't wait. I mean, because they're going to start you at the intent to file for VA healthcare, and that's your start date when it gets approved, and you get back paid to that point, however long it takes. I'm not really sure. I did mine when I retired, and it was all ready as soon as I got it. I started it 90 days before I got out of the military. So yeah, do not wait. Let's see, where were we at? Number 2?
2 there, yeah.
Yeah, the second benefit that starts at 30% disability is the option for direct hire, which basically means that a federal agency or organization could potentially hire you for a position without having to compete for it. For instance, say a local VA hospital, and I just seen that on every state's got a veterans hiring program, and they had a list of, I think it was like 67 jobs, from customer service to a secretary to working in orthopedics, helping fixing broken artificial limbs and stuff like that, to janitors, to whatever it is at the VAs. And they were paying a pretty good chunk of money for those jobs. So just remember that. So for instance, say a local VA hospital is looking to hire a new HVAC, and you have HVAC experience from the military or from the civilian sector. And let's even say you're retired and you say, man, I'm not making it, I need a job. You can apply for these jobs, and if you're receiving 30% disability. So just remember that. Get into, I think mine is Oklahoma Veteran Works or something like that. And I'm just bombarded with all these jobs across the state for veterans and veterans only. It's insane how many jobs you could be eligible for. And customer services means, hey, you can talk on the damn phone. Okay.
Right.
You could be like me, tore up from the floor up, can't walk a half a mile, but you can sit in a chair and answer the freaking telephone. Or if somebody comes into the VA or one of the clinics, you can give out information or whatever like that. I mean, because it is hard to live now. And if you need a job, jobs are available through the VA.
So yeah, we covered that whole, you got to be qualified to be able to do it. So yeah, finally, the remaining 8 benefits are essentially offered to all veterans who receive VA disability that we talked about during the 10%. A veteran rated at 30 can expect more than $537 a month, tax-free.
Yeah.
And if you have children, a spouse, or parents who qualify as dependent, you may able to add hundreds more. So same deal. So from that 30% up, you also get paid for your dependents.
Yes.
Yeah. And I did see this coming up with Dawn. I gave up on all the hoops you have to jump through a long time ago. I'd rather pay for my health insurance than have to drive. Dawn, that's the most ridiculous thing I think I've heard you ever say. Especially because I know the VA clinic that she could go to, because it's the same one. We're freaking neighbors that
Exactly.
I go to, and they have community care. So I've only ever drove to Little Rock one time, and I could have got away with not doing that and done a televisit. But because I know that in our local area where Dawn and all them live, they do have all the doctors, because we just so happen to live in a retirement community.
Yeah.
So the doctors for all the ailments are there in one way, shape, or form. You don't have to drive.
In Oklahoma, it's 61 cents a mile. And so when I go up there and stuff, it's more money than the gas I use to get up there and back.
Yeah.
Because I get paid.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the right vehicle, I mean, for me, like, it still costs me more to drive up and back and stuff like that. But
yeah,
the local VA clinic that we have is 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And
you can do everything there, and they can schedule everything there.
right. And when you can't, like a matter of fact, I was supposed to have my annual VA health check yesterday. Obviously, I'm in Tennessee, and they called me last week to confirm. And I said, hey, I'm in Tennessee. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a call a couple days ahead. And they did. And I had to cancel that appointment. Now, I could have done a traveling vet thing, went to the VA clinic here in Knoxville, did my blood work and done a telehealth visit, but I didn't want to do all that. So they called me today and said, hey, we noticed, we're calling. Like, they're on top of it at that clinic. I'll give it to them that at least the one that I go to is if I miss an appointment or cancel one, right, they're calling me within a day or two, and they're scheduling when I can re-get that appointment. If they don't do it, then I call to cancel it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. Terry's been in the game for a few years now with me, and she handles all the finances in our family and stuff like that. And because I got to ask her how much money we got in the bank, because I have no freaking clue. But she is a good point of contact because she pays attention to everything that's happening to me with the VA across the board, whether it's buying a house, my medical care, the hospitalization, care in the community, all that stuff. So yeah, she's when she tells you something on there, she's telling you from real life spouse experience on what the heck's going on.
Yeah. And what did they say? Yeah, they should be able to get. And of course, Dawn did back that same comment right there. Keep trying to send her to Fayetteville, but it was back in 2007 when she was trying to do it. I should just go slap Dawn.
A lot of things changed. A lot of things changed under the last Trump administration.
Yeah.
So
no, and that's
it ain't the same.
Especially knowing for Dawn, I mean, if you don't have to pay, I mean, granted, like I know her husband's working and stuff, but it's one of those, if you don't have to pay for something, then why? Just like, we were talking earlier, hey, and I see Neil put it on there that he had to go to the ER a couple weeks ago. And he said, hey, send it to him, and they covered the whole bill. Like, if you can save, guys, even if it's save $1, right? Like, it just makes sense. I see Randall.
A little bit of your time saves a whole lot of money. A little bit of your time.
And Randall, like he said, he mentioned that intent to file. We talked about that a little bit. Guys, that is the start. I know we talk about a lot of things, and I'm sure we've talked a little bit about this before, but the start of your process is registering on the eBenefits website, but then getting that intent to file submitted, because that's your back pay date. So if it takes 6, 8, 10, 12 months to do the process, albeit not fun to wait, that is that much time that you're getting back paid all of that money back to that intent to file date.
Yeah.
So the soonest you can do that, and I know Randall and I actually had a phone conversation not too long ago about it, for him to get that set up, because that could be a lot of money, if you end up getting a higher rated. But even then, it's free, tax-free money.
Hey, and I'm going to tell you straight out of this horse's mouth that I got out of the hospital. I was laying here. I didn't have nothing on my mind. I was trying to get the VA. Who didn't? And I called the nurse. Actually, I called the 3000 number here for Oklahoma, and you get one of those customer service ladies that directs you and sends messages and stuff like that. So I called that number, and then I seen the thing. It says nurse hospitalization information and direction was, like, I think it was number 2. So I hit that, and this lady came on there, asked me what she could do for me, and I said, hey, I just got out of the hospital, okay, and nobody's contacted me because on my discharge orders They will contact you within 24, 48 hours. Nobody contact. She went through that thing, her computer, and she goes, there is no record of that with the VA. Let me put this in now. She goes, I see where you had the authorization for the hip replacement. I see where they scheduled you for the 25th. Okay, through the civilian doctor did me. Nobody at the VA touched me. All right, the best bone doctor probably in Oklahoma did my hip surgeries. And she goes, I got all that. She goes, I'm putting it in now, and they should be contacting you. That's how quick it is. Then I got off of there, and I was flipping through my phone numbers, trying to find the hospital to get a hold of them. Then I seen the 1,000 number that you call to put a claim in or get a copy of your disability rating. All that's at the 1,000 number that I gave you before. And before I get out of here, I'll probably put it up there for you again. So I called that number and I told her, I said, hey, I want to check on my August surgery, right? And she goes, it is in the decision phase right now. I said, well, I've been calling you for 4 weeks and it's been in the decision phase. She goes, sir, you got to understand, we do hundreds and thousands of these. She goes, let me look at your thing. She goes, yeah, yours is cut and dry. You have a fully artificial hip on that side. There's nothing to dispute that. You already went to go see the doctor we send you. They said, yep, the scar's there, the bracket, everything's in place, everything's good. And she goes, and they should be getting a hold of you soon. I said, well, here's another thing. I just got out of surgery the second time for my left hip. I want to do an intent to file today. And she goes, your start day is today. Now I have 1 year to complete this. Okay. And if I've completed on the last day that I can file next November, then I get all that back pay from when the intent to file was put in with the VA.
Now, in that 1 year, and this is where Neil's going with, yes, you have 1 year to submit all of the documentation. That doesn't mean necessarily, hopefully it doesn't take a year, but it doesn't mean the VA is going to get their part done within a year. Mm-hmm. If they supersede the year, that doesn't matter.
That's right.
You need to make sure that you have your documentation. Like when you do an intent to file, it's going to ask you what medical conditions, or, you know, if you're trying to do a new one, whatever, it's going to give you some vague questions of, hey, you know, I want, hey, I had hip replacements and I want to be able to put this on the claim. So it's going to give you some general medical questions on there of what body part is affected, more or less, right? You like point to the chart, which one hurts.
Now I will tell you real quick, at the same location, at that number, you're going to have questions about the application. Everybody does, okay? Mm-hmm. And if you can do it all yourself and turn it in and it gets approved, that's great. If you have something where they deny it and you got to go back again, they will give you. I asked her, I said, hey, do you have the numbers for local counselors? And she says, I have one in Henrietta with the American Legion. And I said, well, I live in McAllister and I know we have a DAV. She sent me the number for the guy at the American Legion. She gave me the number and the address for the DAV in McAllister, so you can direct your questions to them, because the VA is not allowed to guide you. That's what these certified counselors at these locations do. So when you look at it, and you'll look at it like a pig looking at a wristwatch, and you don't know what the hell time it is, right? You go to these guys and you say, hey, I need help on this. And that's what they do for you guys. They walk you through it because they did hundreds and thousands of them. So you
Yep.
get it right. Even the wording. The guy pulls out this freaking book, hip. Oh, there it is right here. This is what it should look like. I'm telling you guys, the help is there. So don't get frustrated when you start the process, because if you do it on your own, it is very frustrating.
It is. And patience is going to be key. Now, don't be overly patient and just sit there and wait and be like, well, I did this. And like, do some follow up after a while. You know, if you haven't heard something in a month, maybe 2 months, you know, call back and, you know, make that contact phone number. Hey, where's it at? Or what's the status? Like, you still got to be somewhat proactive. But if you're applying for this, you're a veteran. That means you're very well versed in the hurry up and wait game. And
Yeah.
it's no different now, even though we may be grumpy old vets, right? And we don't have the patience, but this is worth finding that ounce of patience to wait
Yeah.
and let the process go through. It's aggravating, and different areas will work fast, different areas are going to work slow, but it's worth the wait.
I will tell you that when I did mine, I turned in my thing for my right hip. They will call you back or email you back and say, because you can file this online. Okay, you go on to the online and fill it all out, submit it right there, upload your documents, all that stuff is done right there. They will contact you and say, hey, we're missing something here. Or, hey, you forgot to fill this in. They'll send it back to you, fill it in, you send it back. Guys, the next thing I know, because I had it all filled out correctly, I got an email that says, hey, you have a doctor's appointment with this specialist to go over this for us. And I went there, boom. And then 2 weeks later, he had already done the letter. They've received everything. All they're doing is now the decision, but you're in the waiting line. It's like being put on hold. Your wait time is 35 minutes if you know, or however long it's going to take. So, all right. So, hey, let's get on to the 40% on this one.
Yeah, so 40%. Now, one of the more important benefits you qualify for at 40% is automatic eligibility for VA healthcare. Whether you're a millionaire or just like us, not millionaires, VA will cover all the services, medications, and much more needed to treat your service-connected injuries or illness.
That's right.
All of it, guys. And I'll tell you that
40 is the golden number.
Yeah.
40 is the golden number over at
because
VA.
you get full health care at that point, not just the service connected.
Everything.
Yeah.
For other services and treatment, you may have a small copay, okay? But there is no annual fees, premiums, or deductibles. So check out the video description to enroll. And when it says the video description, if you go to the VA, they have a series of videos on anything and everything you need to do when it comes to the VA. All right.
Yeah. And so the next two benefits are monthly monetary compensation and additional monthly compensation for eligible dependents. So a veteran rated at 40%, you're looking at about $774 a month.
Now that's without dependents or children or anything.
That's you as the veteran. If you have a spouse, you have dependent children or parents that qualify for it as dependents, then that number goes up. So you start there, $774, tax free, and if you have children, it's going to go up. So, but that automatic enrollment into the healthcare saves you from having to pay.
Yeah. Where are we at?
Yeah.
All other benefits you can enjoy are the same as mentioned in our discussion, from 10% to 30%. So everything that when you're at 40%, again, the golden number, that means all. I don't care if you need a flu shot, a COVID shot, you need shingles vaccine, you need, you know, all of a sudden they diagnose you with diabetes, high blood pressure. I don't care what it is. All of a sudden, hey, they found a brain tumor in your head. Okay. That's not on the schedule for compensation. All of it's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be taken care of it. If
And
you're
the big key
a female and you have all of a sudden you're diagnosed with breast cancer, if your hearing goes out, if your eyes go out, it's all paid for, guys, at 40.
Yeah. And it's one of those kind of going back to the whole, you know, even if you're a millionaire, like even if you did your 4 years, you know, and you've worked your whole life, you've got a pension and a good insurance plan coming from, you know, a non-military employer, right? And now you're deciding to go in and you're like, well, I have this, and oh, well, it cost me $3 for this prescription. And, you know, like the thing is, you can take once you hit that 40%, you can take all of the medications that you're getting from your civilian primary doctor and have them shuffled over. And now you don't have to go wait in line at the Walgreens or the CVS or the Walmart, because the VA is going to take them, and then they'll mail you the medications to your house. And medical supplies. Like I know Mike was talking when I got cut off earlier about, you know, all of his blood sugar stuff, right? Everything comes in. Hey, he gets his medication sent right there. All of my CPAP supplies, my tank, my reservoirs, the hoses, the filters, you know, anything that I need, it all comes in the mail. The only time that you're going to see me go into a pharmacy to pick up medications is maybe when I try to cut my finger off and they're going to give me some pain meds over at the local Walgreens.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll go pay the few dollars it's going to be and pick it up from there. But everything else, it's going to come right there. And then it comes to your house.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to go to town and people.
And as somebody who's getting up there in age, okay, when you're in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, you're going, man, this is too much work, blah, blah, blah. And then you're over here bitching about this, and I got to pay for my health care, or they're taking this much out of my check for it, yada, 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 yada. Don't think it in terms like then, okay? It's nice to be enrolled now and to get the services you need. When you retire and the truck breaks down, and I mean your body, okay, then you're going to say, why didn't I do this? Now I'm on Social Security. How am I paying for this? Yada, 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 so on and so forth. Look at it as, hey, I'm going to work on this and work on this and work on this, because Big Mike said, when your truck breaks down, when you hit 60 and things start going south, who's going to take care of this? How do I know? I may wake up the next day and I got kidney problems, and all of a sudden what? How am I going to pay for that? And who's going to pick me up on that? Well, the VA is picking up the entire bill once you get over 40%. And you cannot beat that. Okay, guys? You can't beat that. Now, I am scared about Doge and what their thoughts are, because neither one of the people that are the head of that, Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, ever served in the military. So I don't know if they're our friend or our foe. Okay, I don't know that. And that's probably something we need to talk about in an open mic with everybody on that one, because I don't know. You see so many videos, oh, this could happen and that could happen, and I believe this, and nobody freaking knows, okay? But hopefully they're our friend, and hopefully they're going to help the veterans that let them make millions of dollars a year or trillions of dollars a year or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I think they're in the make the trillions now type deal.
Yeah.
Jumping back to a comment here I'd seen, I was scrolling through it, and Dawn asking about, do you get more of disabled children? So as far as I know and understand, whether the child's disabled or not, like you just get a flat rate for a dependent, whether it's a spouse. So you get like, in her case, you would get one for the fact that you're married. So, hey, you get one for, a certain amount for having Big D, and then you'll get X amount per kid. Their individual ailments, you're not getting the health care for them. You're getting it, like, you get the full medical care for you, but then as long as you're getting the 40% or more, you'll get extra, or 30% or more, you get extra for your spouse and your children. But it's a flat rate of just a flat rate. I don't know where I'm going.
Just a flat rate. Hey, and I just want to, prayers out to Merns' father, who's in the hospital, going through some procedures and stuff like that. We want to send our love and prayers out to them. She is our big supporter over in the Philippines, guys. She shoots out every one of our lives that we do. Every time it hits, she's there and she puts it out. And that's why you sometimes will come in here and you'll say, I can't read that name. It's because she's shooting it out over there. And they want to know how do we work? A lot of their guys who are ex-military, when I talk to some of them, they're going, I can't believe your country takes care of you like that. They're just astounded by it.
Right.
So, yeah. So we want to send our love out to her and her father. All right.
Absolutely. Prayers out for you, Merns. We know they work.
Yep. And my joints squeak.
WD-40.
I'm there with you, brother. Hey, but hey, they just oiled up my hips. They're not squeaking. They feel a little rough though, like this one did, but this one's smooth as glass now. So now it's the knees. All the pain's going to the knees. So that's bad. Hey, and to learn more about what we talked about, if you go to the description, we put the links down there for all this, okay? Travel information, home waiver, information on the burial and plot allowances, additional information on VA healthcare, you name it, it's all in there. Also, there is, if you go online, and I can't remember the name of the company, I think we have it in here. There's the one for the commissary and exchange visits. If you want to know, how do I use my VA compensation, because I'm only at 20%, to go into the commissaries and to use MWRs and all that kind of stuff. Also in there, the last one on the links is for the 2025 VA compensation table, okay? And it will show you, if you go to that, it will show you, you'll see 10%, 20%, and then 30%. And then when you get to 30%, it starts telling you about your dependents, your mom and your dad, your wife, and all that kind of stuff. And the number keeps growing over here to the right-hand side. And that's all our 2025 numbers, okay? And so you'll get paid for that. It starts in December, and you get paid in January, okay? So the new numbers are coming out, guys. So if you want to look at that and see what the pay rates are for all the levels and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you something, 100% took a giant jump. Yeah, it's a pretty good jump at 100%. So cross my fingers.
I know. I need to look at. I'd seen the link and I was going to look and see what it was going to jump to, because some of the other articles that I'd read said it was going to jump pretty significant. So, but it's once again, it's one of those, you got to do your due diligence, and I know a lot of people that watch this, some of are probably way older than me, which doesn't really take a lot anymore. But I'm doing this young so that I could prep and be able to live the lifestyle that we're living now.
Sure.
I didn't have to go through all the trials and tribulations of everything else. And I think that's why, like, when Mike and I decided to start doing this channel, was like, hey, absolutely, because there's things that, one, I'm learning every time we do an episode, right? Whether it's something through the comments or something that we're bringing up just by reading, because we don't know until we know. and we don't know to ask unless somebody says, "Hey, ask about that." And but yeah, it definitely it takes some time, it takes some patience,
Yeah.
but the
It
juice
really
is worth
does.
the squeeze on this. And like it definitely is, and it's allowed me at a much younger age than anybody would expect somebody to be retired, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here. I retired at when I officially retired out of the Marine Corps. This was back in 2015, so I would have been 34 years old. I was
Yeah.
retired, and I I did work a part-time job for a while, but I'm sitting here at 44, fully retired, and having my VA disability, and I can live a very comfortable life and a very free life that we can come to Tennessee and live in our new to us camper, the Squatch, and
Yeah.
spend much needed time with family. And that might be something that could be a benefit to you is, man, I wish I could go spend some time with that family member that's really sick, but I
Yeah.
have to go to this job every day. Well, maybe the VA disability that you've been refusing to go do because, well, I don't want to do the extra paperwork, that might be able to afford you to go out and fish all the time. And
Exactly. I'm telling you.
yeah,
Hey, for me, when I retired, it was a very hard. It wasn't. There was no emotional thing about it. There was no physical thing about it. It was pure financial. And once you adjust your life to what you're actually making, and thank God we only used a debit card, and we didn't have money. We didn't buy something, so we didn't have credit card debt and all that. We have the major debt, like you have a mortgage on your house and so on and so forth. We
right.
know we got the tractor we're paying off, we got the boat we're paying off, and all that kind of stuff. The Jeep's paid off. Terry's car's not paid off. And so we're living very frugal until we get these things. And every time we pay something off, life gets a little bit better for us. Okay. And we're adjusting to the pay scale from up here to retirement that's right here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. But we're getting there. And I thank Terry for telling me many times that I don't need it. I know you want it, she says, but you don't need it. Yeah. Okay.
I think her and Tara talk a lot, must be, because
Yeah.
I hear those exact same words. Be like, no, just walk
Twin
away.
sisters from different misters.
Oh my gosh. Ah,
So, guys, that's what we got for you tonight. I'm glad you guys came in here and stayed with us to go over this. That was 10% to 40%. If you have any questions, Jason and my email is in the description. You can ask us any questions, send us an email, and we'll get back to you on that. If we don't know it, we'll find out. Me, I call the DAV, my guy over there, and I'm going to tell you something. There's some smart people at the DAV. Look it up in your area if you've got a DAV. They are smart guys, and they volunteer to do that. They don't get paid for it. They got nothing better.
Especially if you're in different states. I mean, the VA is a federal thing,
Yeah.
but different states have different benefits too. So there could be more in your state that you have a benefit of that your local DAV is going to know more. Like, I live in Arkansas, Big Mike and them live in Oklahoma. We know Arkansas and Oklahoma because we're living there.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit with it in Michigan, but everywhere else, your local representative is going to know a whole lot more about it and how to get through it faster.
In fact, I didn't know this. I seen the guy at the VA clinic. They're there every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I try to make my appointments then, so in case I got a question. And I went in there and I was listening to the guy. He had his little laptop out talking to a guy. And he said, well, let me see your driver's license and this and that. And I'm going like this. I'm listening. He goes, okay, you should get this in the mail in about 2 weeks. Take that to the DMV, and when you register your car, you'll only pay $5 plus tax for 2 vehicles. And so the guy got up and walked somewhere else. I slid right into his spot, and I go, whoa, 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 say that again? And he did it to me. All of a sudden so my Jeep that I was paying all that tax on when I re-registered, okay, for the plate fees and all that stuff, which is a couple of $100, and my motorcycle, a couple of $100, because it's the value at the time of the vehicle when you register it.
Yeah.
$13 is what I pay now. And if I didn't hear that, so now when I got questions, go to the DAV, say, hey, what is the state benefits? What can I do? They even put me in for my lifetime hunting and fishing license for the state. They did that right there on their computer. I get it in the mail. Paid $5 for a hard copy card, so I have that with me at all times. And then they give you the app, and then all you got to do is go to the app, and all your licenses are right there. So you don't even need a license. If you're out in the field and you can get a signal, here you go. Here's my fishing license right there. Okay, you're good to go. So yeah, they got a lot of benefits, guys. Check out what your state has. So guys, hey, we thank you guys for coming in. Hope you guys come in next week, and we're going to be talking. I want to sit down and talk to everybody about the political climate for the military. What we think we can expect for this coming administration before it gets in. So if you guys got questions or things that we can talk about, it's going to be an open mic. We invite you up on the panel to talk to us, get on here, and we can talk about all this stuff. Because I'm really curious about Doge, okay? I'm really curious about Doge. And we did talk about before about the new secretary of the VA. I think he's good for us. But there's still a lot more we can talk about in the coming weeks before that administration takes over. So join us next week as we talk about the new agencies and stuff like that affects veterans here in the United States and in your state also. So guys, hey, we love you. Remember, be kind to one another, help somebody in need, and always think of that, guys.
Every day, all day, guys. And continue those prayers for Pops. He's doing great here.
Yes.
And keep him up for Big Mike, because we just might. He's going to keep fooling around and have all these bionic parts. We might have to do a live and he does a cartwheel to show everybody everything works.
Yeah, you're doing that ain't going to never happen. It didn't happen before all this, and it ain't going to happen after.
No, but I'm glad that you're doing much better, brother. Yeah. This whole process, I know it's been frustrating, but, once again, I love the fact that you're the living proof and you're going through the process now of a civilian surgeon with a VA compensation insurance type deal and how that's crossing over. Yeah. And I'm grateful that, this one had a little bit of a hiccup, but I'm grateful that it's coming out. And I love seeing that. I can already see it on your face and the way that you're moving around, that things are going so much better. So can't wait till we can hang out again.
The Oxycontin finally set in. I don't feel this lump in my butt no more on this chair.
And thank you, pharmacists, for being able to wiggle some medicine and make my battle buddy feel better. We'll see you guys.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye.